In YouTube, how are you? It is Sunday, the 23rd of December 2018, only 2 days left before Christmas. I'm not enjoying the update YouTube has had recently because before I could shed some light on the situation by pressing a button, much like Facebook Live, and now I can't do that, so I have to drive with this on, which is not great, but you can see me anyway. So I've got 2 more days of work before I have 6 days off for Christmas, which is nice. But it's the week itself. This week has been a very trying, very emotional, very upsetting week for me. And before anyone starts saying, "Oh, he's complaining again," the reason why it's been a very harsh and upsetting week for me this week is because this week my dad had a heart attack. And it was completely out of the blue and random, and I was unable. I couldn't take time off work. I just wasn't allowed to. I can't afford to take time off work, and I was given very little to no compassion from the people I work for, which isn't great. So I've stuck with it, and I've persevered on, but it's been very difficult. And having to work driving a large vehicle, knowing that your dad's in hospital and is high risk and could potentially have another one, is it's not nice. It burns in the back of your mind. It's always there. Even he's home now. When he came home last night, in the evening, but it's not nice. It's always going to be there now. That at the back of my mind, what if? It's difficult. It's been a very trying, very upsetting week for me this week. So it ain't great. Why is there police? Please don't be police following me. I'm not in the mood for this right now. No, it's not police following me. So, either way, is it? Mirrors, Chris, mirrors. Yeah, so it's been a very upsetting week for me in that respect. I've also had arsehole after arsehole getting on my bus this week. They just don't ease off. I've had a bad report from a DMI, which was, I'm gonna call BS, because there's no way I'd do what I was accused of doing, because it's just not my driving style. So, I had a perfect score across the board, to be told that there was one thing that I did wrong, which dragged the entire score down to a bad score, even though everything was perfect. So that, to me, smells a little bit of bullshit, because there's no way I'd done what I was accused of. But do you know what? If that's the way they want to work it, they can have their say. They can't give everyone full scores all the time. They've got to be seen to be critical of drivers, even when there's nothing to be critical over. But that's fine. I can live with it. It's okay. So the reason why obviously I'm upset is because my dad's had a heart attack, and obviously I'm upset because he's my dad. So there's no question about that. But it felt, I'll tell you how it felt. From the second I found out that he was in hospital with what it was, I had that horrible feeling where your heart just drops into your stomach and it doesn't move, and it feels like it's knotting up. It's just everything, your whole world just drops. And it was like not losing, but it was like almost losing your superhero. It's like when you're a child and you love Spider-Man, you know who the actor is. It's like Stan Lee. A lot of people class Stan Lee as their superhero. They worshipped him, they idolized him. People cried over his death. It's like, to me, my superhero is my dad. He always has been, in regards to just the way he is. He's always been there for me as my dad. It's been difficult when I was a kid. I didn't get to see him much because he was always working, but that's where I get my work ethic from. He's fun, he's funny. He's got a very good sense of humour. He's always done everything he can and always will, to the best he can, everything he can for me, my sister and our family and his grandkids. He's always been super granddad and super dad. He's always been my hero, and he always will be my superhero. And to have that nearly taken away from me this week is it's very difficult. So yeah, was not expecting my dad to have a heart attack this week. I mean, yes, he has diabetes, he's diabetic, but we never knew that he had anything wrong with his heart. He went to the hospital on Sunday with a chest pain, and they sent him away with indigestion. So obviously he's gone back when he's had the chest pain, and he's been rushed into resus and had 2 stents put in. And luckily, thank God, even though I'm not a religious man, but he's home now for Christmas, which is the best thing ever. Knowing that my dad is home. He's not allowed to do anything for 6 weeks. And I know him. He's going to try and do something. He's not one to just not do anything. He's going to try and do something, and he's going to get told off. But he's my superhero, and I just don't know if anything was to happen to him where it was the worst case scenario, how I'd break that news to my kids. How would I tell them that their super granddad's gone? It's a hard thing to think about, and I've had that burning in the back of my head all week. And this is how I've been. This is the emotion I've had all week. While having to work. And, the fact that I was given not even a couple of days off to try and help my dad. Or, just to, make sure that he's fine. Or to get over the initial shock of what's happened. They forcing me to work. And it's not great. So yeah, it's not great. But like I said, he's home for Christmas. And at the moment, for me, that is the best early Christmas present I could get. I don't really care for stuff at Christmas. It's always nice to get something, but I'm not someone who wants stuff. For me, the best Christmas present I could get is my dad coming out of hospital yesterday. And I'm getting all welly up, and I'm trying not to go, but I've had my Christmas present, and it's the best thing. He's out of hospital now. So anyway, I'm gonna go because I can feel myself going in a welling up kind of way. And I wish everyone has an absolutely fantastic Sunday.